Hey, Dr. Rob, the car doctor down here in Hillsboro, Oregon at the car doctor shop, better known as OBD1 Kenobi. And today's behind the scenes case study is a 1993 KOOL Jeep Cherokee Sport. The complaint is after about 45 minutes or so, they lose power, blue smoke comes out the exhaust. That's what the customer says. So I'm getting real passionate about making these videos. I'm gonna make you a promise. I'm gonna make more of these on a weekly basis because being the straight shooter I am, there's way too many cars being misdiagnosed, not enough trust and respect in automotive. So my goal is to raise that so we all get paid what we're supposed to be paid for car doctors, and customers have more faith in the diagnostics that they're paying for. So that's the key, fellow technicians and shop owners. You have to do the reps, you have to get the equipment, you have to tell the story, you have to do the inspections. If you want the dough, you got to do the work. So that's enough of the preaching, but let's make this fun. I'm gonna lead by example. So the first thing I did was a visual inspection. And I also have all the OBD1 test equipment for these OBD1 vehicles. The Veris Pro hooks up to it. I've got the Snap-on KOOL 4-gas analyzer, ignition analyzer. But technicians, the biggest one is common sense. This vehicle has about 200,000 miles on it. And as I'm checking it out, I did a visual inspection, and I like to use the BOT digital inspection program to tell the story with the customers. There's a picture of the O2 sensor. It's got the original O2 sensor with over 200,000 miles on it. And sure enough, what's going on inside the computer, you know, even in 93, this customer was like, well, I'm not sure it's that complicated. I says, absolutely, it's all computer controlled. So we have two codes, an oxygen sensor signal not switching, and O2 sensor shorted high above max voltage. Now, not to get too technical, but I'm gonna monitor these as I'm driving down the road, along with my fuel pressure gauge I've got hooked up as well. I like to make sure the connections are super tight. I like to use blue tape, painting tape, because that's holding them in a really good place. So I've got the fuel pressure that I'm gonna be driving home with my test equipment hooked up. And I've also got the KOOL back pressure for the exhaust. And, you know, tell the story with your customers. Tell them, man, I'm going to hook up my test equipment. I'm going to drive it home, spend more time with my patient. And that's where you'll get the approval on the testing time. Because, man, you go the extra mile and they'll appreciate it. So I'm going to show you my KOOL back pressure gauge here that I've got hooked up right here. Even though the catalytic converter looks newer, there's where I got my back pressure hooked up to it. I have a suspicion, you know, a hypothesis, not a guess or not assuming, but that since that O2 sensor is original, it may be running rich and or had caused that O2 sensor to get overheated. Or I'm sorry, the catalytic converter to become overheated and damaged as heat goes on, because that's one of the biggest killers on the catalytic converters is overheating, running too rich, too lean, misfires, things like that. And since the O2 sensor is one of the biggest things that these OBD1 vehicles use for air fuel mixture screw, that original O2 sensor has to go. So I'm gonna replace that. Gonna do the testing first just to verify it. So that's kind of my behind the scenes for this case study, monitoring the fuel pressure, back pressure, and I'm also gonna have my scanner on as well, driving, and of course be safe as usual. But that's the behind the scenes case study of the 93 Jeep Cherokee Sport that loses power after about 45 minutes. So that's it for the first part of it. Stay tuned for the fix. Again, Dr. Rob, the car doctor here in Hillsboro, Oregon with the car doctor shop, to educate customers, technicians, fellow troubleshooters, how to properly diagnose vehicles, fix them, so we have more trust, respect, and get paid more for testing time. So that's it, man. Dr. Rob, OBD1 Kenobi, over and out.